Gentlemen, Mario Cavallo here with Dragon Quartz Audio. I'm so excited to bring to the world of audiophile this introductory installation video on the rare and absolutely superb Amari LP16 turntable. I just got this in. We're going to put it together, and I'm going to introduce the details to you along the way. All I can say is, wow. This turntable is designed in the spirit of the original from, I think, 20, 30 years ago, the Oracle Delphi series, where you have 4 levels of isolation. This turntable weighs 32 pounds in total. An Oracle Delphi, though, weighs in at like 60 pounds. You can get it with a solid granite base. I mean, it's incredible. It is the Rolls Royce of audiophile turntables, and it should be priced at its $14,000. That's for the world of people who can afford Rolls Royces. This turntable is for guys like us. We want the top audiophile turntable that we can buy at a reasonable price because we're not that rich. And this is at the $1,500 price point. We offer it for $1,480. And let me introduce it to you and see why that's just, I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reviews on turntables, speakers, amplifiers. This is the reason that I'm offering this to the marketplace is because I don't perceive any other turntable at anything that approaches the value and quality at this price point. Wow. So here goes. This is the base. The base alone weighs 4.9 kilograms. There it is. Solid aluminum on both sides, sandwiching birch wood. And on the underside, here is Amari's standard preamp, which also comes with their LP10, which is their baseline turntable, around $800-900. Very fine sounding phono preamp. Probably, I'd say, in the quality range of like the new, like the Fozzy X5, the Shitmani. That's what you get out of this. I know it sounds great at this price point. And of course, we all are interested in upgrading to, far better and far more expensive phono preamps. $500, $1,000. They're out there. So you got an upgrade path. Here, you've got the servo-controlled, DC servo-controlled phase feedback loop, however the design is. For speed control, including fine speed adjustment on both 33 and 45. Yeah, there it is. Adjustable feet, needless to say, on the bottom. Okay, let me get this back in there. Oh boy. Here we go. What happens next? So you have a base that's something like 11 pounds. You're already achieving a huge amount of isolation with that level of density. And now you're onto the amazing technology of suspending the player plinth on springs. You have a suspended, floating main plinth. Here it is. This plinth weighs 4 kilograms. That's 8.8 pounds. This is the heart of it. Wow. Underneath, it has this knob, which adjusts your platter height, all kinds of adjustments. These adjust. This adjusts. Wow. So now we just, we put on the column tubes on top of the springs. Here we go. There they are. And then this just drops right on top to those black gaskets you see. And now, look at that. Floating plinth on springs. Suspended plinth chassis. Motor mounted right here on rubber for additional isolation on a rubber strap. And so now you've got 2 layers of isolation And we go to the next, which is the platter and subplatter and spindle design. I already took the cork out, and you put a couple of drops of lubricating oil. There's obviously bearings down there, and there's also a magnet, so you've got a magnetic field. And this is not plastic. This is a ceramic material, and in it goes, drops down. The combined weight of the subplatter and main platter is 5.9 kilograms. This one is 0.7 kilograms, which is about 1.3 pounds. Easy to put on the belt, isn't it? Of course. The whole thing's pretty easy, actually, right? And this is what I do. I walk you through. Nice and easy. Quick 10-minute video. The main 5.2 kilogram, which is like 11 pounds, machined aluminum platter. You know, again, this feature alone brings huge amounts of isolation. Other makers offer the heavy acrylic platter, right? Because just improving the platter alone, this kind of dense weight gives you supreme isolation. But here you've got, this is the third level. This is the third level, or should I say the fourth level. 12-pound base, suspended plinth that weighs 8.8 pounds, and then a magnetic floating subplatter and platter assembly. Incredible isolation. Drop these on top. Screw them on. Wow. Look at that masterpiece. Next, we put in the tone arm. This is Amari's proprietary tone arm. Guys, I can't tell you how good Amari's proprietary tone arm is. I can only tell you that Amari thinks it's pretty damn good, because this tone arm is the same tone arm they use on their LP10, which is a $800-900 turntable. And it's the same tone arm on this turntable. And it's also on their much more expensive LP22, their over $3,000 LP32, their $5,000 LP62, which weighs 50 kilograms, by the way. So apparently Amari says this tone arm is good enough to go on our very, very finest, super expensive turntables. I guess it's a good tone arm. That's the best I can tell you. Locks right in. There's a mark right there to line it up straight. And you get your little hex nut tools for all the different screws and nuts. And you use that to tighten this here and tighten here to lock down the tone arm. Needless to say, you plug in and ground this to the preamp. And this connects the electricity for the servo-controlled motor. Come on. I had it in the wrong place. There we go. Screw that down to lock it down. This is your electric for the DC servo control motor. This is your electric for the preamp. You get those plugged in. Counterweight goes right on the back for the tone arm. And needless to say, now you've got the work of thinking about your cartridge. Amari fully would expect anyone buying a $1,500 turntable has a sweet cartridge that they have in mind to install on it. They send it as a courtesy with a basic Audio-Technica 1895E, which, by the way, is a very good sounding budget cartridge. But needless to say, you probably have in mind a much better cartridge. Now, I currently have an MP110, which I'm going to be putting on this. But frankly, for this quality of turntable, if you can afford it, I think that you'd be looking at something in the $300 to $500 or more range, such as the MP200 by Nagalka, the cartridge that I have in mind for my next upgrade, along with a phono preamp upgrade. It's fun, isn't it? Isn't having all this gear and being able to have an upgrade path is just great. I'm looking at the Goldring 1042. That's what's on my mind. Audiophiles Black, maybe many other cartridges that you've got in mind that you would want to put on a turntable of this quality. And that's it, guys. Wow, that came together pretty fast, didn't it? Of course, you get a felt mat included. You might want to upgrade that too, but there's your felt mat. And that's it, gentlemen. This is what Amari believes is the best value in true audiophile with, I mean, you see here with your own eyes, you know, and I'll remind you that 50% of the best audiophile equipment makers out there, all their stuff is made in China. And you see, this is what Chinese manufacturers are capable of. But Amari is for the mainland for many, many years. As you know, they don't have stores all over the world. You know, I ship this out directly to you. Amari is for the mainland. And on the mainland of China, where this is the manufacturing center of the world, at the highest possible quality that anybody would want, including an audiophile gear. And I think you know that. So this price point is amazing for, you look at the encompassing design, everything that's been encompassed into this design, the quality of the craftsmanship. I've shown it to you. I've put it together in front of you. It's complex, yet the design is so simple and straightforward to be able to put it together and install it. That's why I made this video for you. And this is what I've decided makes great sense for me to put my time and energy into recommending in the audiophile world. I'm excited about it. I've been working with Amari for 5 years, but now I see this niche point in the marketplace for vinyl lovers at this price point. There's nothing that even comes close. And, you know, and that assumes that you love the design, by the way. You know, some of you might say, you know, you just want a traditional plinth walnut, you know, wood turntable. So this might not be your thing because this is more like a spaceship, right? But getting the quality, getting the design, in terms of the multiple layers of isolation, suspended plinth design, magnetic floating platter design. Wow, it's just so much. So that's it. Thank you for being with me for this installation video on the Amari LP16, which, by the way, I see the world of YouTube channels needed this. You know, there's always been questions. Does anybody know anything about that Amari, those Amari turntables? Well, I've shown it to you bare, and you can see clearly with your own eyes what we got here. I hope you're as excited about it as I am, plus just the joy, the wonderful joy of talking about all our audiophile gear and our vinyl gear, our love for music and all this great gear. So thanks, guys. Feel free to leave your comments. Feel free to contact me if you're interested, of course. That's why we're here. And thanks again.